people in the back row, you don't want to block photos.
Okay.
Take a sign inside.
Just make sure you hold
Yours have more color.
Well, side shops looks like
I know, I'm sorry. And I'm gonna take.
Well, good morning, everybody. Many of you travel from a long way away, so welcome to Washington, D.C. I'm Congressman John Klein from Minnesota, the chairman of the House Education and Workforce Committee. And I'm joined here by Senator Alexander and Congressman Steve Chabot. We're going to say a couple of words, and then you're going to hear from who you came here to hear from, these wonderful business owners that are standing here with us. Many of you in this room have worked like crazy to establish your small business, to achieve your American dream. And now you find out that you've got some bureaucrats here in Washington who don't know anything about your business. They may not know anything about business at all, but they're determined to tell you how to run yours. And so we're very pleased here now to put forward the Protect Local Business Opportunity Act to help you get them out of your way. So again, thanks for being here, Senator Alexander.
Thanks, John. We know who we're talking about here. We're talking about the owners of 780,000 franchises across the country. These are typically men and women who might have been sitting behind a desk and said, I want to try it on my own, and so they, with their families, go to work 12 hours a day. They know their employees. They're the American entrepreneurs. They're the best example of the American dream that we have in this country. And the Obama administration's labor board has issued a ruling that changes law that's been settled and basically encourages the big corporations to own the franchises that we have across the country. At a time when we're talking about the middle class, this decision makes the big boys bigger and the middle class smaller. So we're determined to restore the law the way that it was, to restore the opportunity for the American dream to the owners of 780,000 franchises across the country and to contractors across the country. In the United States Senate, where I'm chairman of the Labor Committee, we have a hearing on Tuesday. We have 43 senators who co-sponsor the bill that Chairman Klein and Congressman Chabot and others have supported, but we need bipartisan support. We need Democratic support as well as Republican support. So we're here today to support you and to ask you to ask them to support you as well. It's my privilege to introduce the chairman of the House Small Business Committee, Congressman Steve Chabot.
Thank you, Senator, and thank you, Chairman. One of my responsibilities, my principal responsibility as chairman of the House Small Business Committee, is to try to improve the environment for small businesses all across this country. One of the greatest challenges that small businesses face is over-regulation. And this is an example, this undoing of the joint employer standard, which is currently in effect by the NLRB. This is an example of unelected bureaucrats running amok here in Washington, D.C., which is going to adversely impact small businesses all across this country, including in my district in Cincinnati. So I want to commend and thank Chairman Klein and also Senator Lamar Alexander for their hard work in trying to reverse this decision. This decision is bad for business. It's bad for job creation. It's bad for America. We must stop it. Thank you. And I'd like to introduce now one of our small business people here today, Ms. Fortin. And without further ado, Ms. Fortin.
You're up.
Thank you, and good morning, Chairman Klein, Chairman Rowe, Chairman Chabot, and Senator Alexander. My name is Mara Fortin, the owner and operator of 6 Nothing Bun Cakes Bakeries in San Diego, California. Yesterday, in this very room, it was my privilege and honor to tell Chairman Rowe's subcommittee my small business story and how the National Labor Relations Board has invented a new and completely unpredictable joint employer standard that threatens what it means to be an employer for me, the small business owners with us today, and millions of other small business people in every congressional district. Yesterday, the subcommittee heard from 3 small business owners about the NLRB's attempt to undermine small businesses and turn them into big businesses by making employers liable for workers they don't employ. Today, you will hear from 5 more. And there are hundreds of franchise owners and home care company owners on Capitol Hill today, asking their elected leaders to stand up for them and support the Protect Local Business Opportunity Act. It is my very distinct and great privilege to introduce to you my peers and small business owners. First is Sonda Kitchen of Mr. Rooter in California. Sonda?
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Sonda Kitchen, and I am a Mr. Rooter franchisee in Northern California. Thank you for inviting me to speak here today. I would first and foremost like to thank the chairman, Klein and Alexander, for their leadership in introducing the Protecting Local Businesses Opportunity Act, Representative Rowe for hosting yesterday's hearing, and all of the subcommittee members who considered our strong concerns and advanced this important legislation. We truly appreciate your leadership and your support. I'm thrilled to be joined by hundreds of small business owners who have come to Capitol Hill today to defend our life's work. A select few bureaucrats down the street don't agree. They seem to not understand. Fortunately, in the room, we have congressional leaders who know how hard we work every single day to build successful businesses, provide well-paying jobs, and support our communities. We definitely need more like you. Every franchisee in this crowd understands that we could not be successful without the talented and hardworking team that we have at home. Our 30 team members service 5,000 customers per year, and they are deeply invested in their work. They work hard because we provide the type of environment that rewards a job well done. One of our concerns with the NLRB's ruling is, who then does our team work for? Who do we all work for? 20 years ago, my family and I didn't buy ourselves a job. We bought a business. We welcome the successes and the challenges that come with it, but we desperately need clarity so that we can continue to grow, and this constant stream of regulations that come out of Washington threatens what we've built. Through the lens of the NLRB's new ruling, our future is very uncertain. All the small businesses in this room, as well as the thousands of small businesses back home working hard in our communities, the opportunities that they provide for people like me and my family were worth fighting for. The team, the countless jobs that we create, that we care about, they're worth fighting for. That's why I'm here today. That's why we all need our elected officials to understand all that is at stake for us and our communities. Support and enact the Protecting Local Businesses Opportunity Act. Thank you.
It is now my honor to introduce Chris Head of Home Instead in Virginia. Chris?
Thank you, Maura. Thanks to all of you fine Congressman and Senator Alexander for your support of this great legislation. It's wonderful to have had the invitation to participate in today's press conference. It's just an honor always to be in our nation's capital in support of the Protecting Local Business Opportunity Act. My name is Chris Head. My wife Betsy and I own 2 franchises of Home Instead Senior Care in Southwest Virginia. Our franchises cover the areas of Roanoke, Lynchburg, Salem, Smith Mountain Lake, and 9 surrounding counties. We've worked with Home Instead since 2001. Home Instead provides in-home senior care, and our franchises, just our 2, employ several hundred caregivers and serve hundreds of seniors and their families throughout the company's service area. In addition to work as an owner of Home Instead Senior Care franchises, I was also elected to the Virginia House of Delegates representing the 17th District. And from this new position, I'm a strong supporter of improving the quality of life for seniors, along with making Virginia more business friendly. We are strong supporters of the Protecting Local Business Opportunity Act. This legislation would importantly restore the standard that employers must have actual, direct, and immediate control over employees to be considered joint employers. As already been well documented, the National Labor Relations Board issued a ruling that greatly expands the joint employer standard and abandons many years of established labor policy. The NLRB position makes it so that employers with only potential or indirect control over almost any employment decision, even in isolated circumstances, could be deemed joint employers. Thankfully, this important legislation would have several beneficial impacts, including placing Congress back in the power and in the proper role of determining labor law rather than the unelected people at the NLRB, of giving certainty to businesses over whether they are joint employers by removing the new case-to-case basis created by the NLRB, restoring confidence in the successful franchise model that has been operating in a beneficial manner for both franchisees and franchisors for decades, getting rid of a decision by the NLRB that discourages both franchising and contract work out to small business, thus inhibiting job creation, and getting rid of a decision that will create legal issues between states that are right to work and those that are not, potentially leading to different laws within each state as it relates to others. In conclusion, we would encourage all members of the U.S. House and Senate to co-sponsor this important legislation. Thank you.
I'd now like to introduce Aslam Khan of Church's Chicken in Texas.
Good morning, Senator and Congressman. I have a little story to tell you. 30 years ago, I came over here to this country, and the only job that I could get was a dishwasher. And from dishwasher to today, I own 300 some businesses. And that was because this free enterprise and entrepreneurial spirit. I know Senator talk about American dream. Last year, I was American dream winner in America. So that said, thank you for protecting our businesses. Thank you for pushing with this legislation. I'm trying to do 17 or 18 more people just like me. So if your help and if this law passes, it makes things easier for us to continue the effort that I'm doing now. Thank you.
And finally, before we open it up for questions, let me introduce you to Lonnie Delifka, a very innovative company called Watermill Express in Colorado. Lonnie.
Good morning. My name is Lonnie Delifka. I'm here on behalf of a company called Watermill Express, which I founded and built along with my husband, Don. Our company is based on the simple desire to ensure that we have safe, affordable drinking water. We started 30 years ago, and the premise was that our local water was deemed unsafe for pregnant women and infants under 6 months of age. So we thought there had to be a better solution. So we came up, along with our friends and family, we came up with a automated mini water purification plant that took municipal water and made it into an exceptional pure drinking water. In an eco-friendly fashion, our customers bring their own containers, thus saving money and the disposable plastic bottles. Today, customers bring their containers to our over 1,300 locations. 300 of those are franchise locations. Our average price of water is between 25 and 35 cents, so it's very affordable to everyone. We provide jobs to 350 employees, and our 4 franchisees also provide jobs and help out in the community. I am so proud of our franchisees. What they do in the community every day matters, and they are smart. The last thing they want is for us to tinker in their day-to-day operations. They know how to run their business, they know their markets, they know how to find employees to take care of their machines. In addition to the daily service, we have weekly, monthly, yearly maintenance programs. They handle it all. So that is why we find it to be absurd to have the franchisor participate on a daily basis in the franchisee operations. Now, every business is different. No business is the same. We all know what's right for our businesses, what's right in our markets. One size doesn't fit all. Again, we're here today to hopefully explain to you why the recent rule that the NLRB has put in place is frustrating as a business owner because it doesn't take into consideration those of us who it affects the most. small business working hard every day to provide jobs and empower local communities. In closing, I'd like to join my fellow speakers today and express my appreciation for Chairman Klein and Chairman Alexander for all their support and dedication in helping all of us on this very important topic. I'd also be remiss if I didn't congratulate Representative Rowe for advancing this important legislation in the subcommittee. We are so incredibly grateful for their hard work and their dedication here in Washington to protect local business. Let's continue to work together. Let's encourage our elected officials to come together and enact the Protecting Local Business Opportunity Act, protecting local business, keeping innovation alive, and fighting for the communities we love and live in. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank all of our small business owners here. We'd like to open it up for questions now I think Senator Alexander has got to leave here momentarily, but we'll open up for questions that I or Chairman Chabot or Dr. Rowe will try to field. Questions for anybody? Yes, sir.
A lot of the legislation that Congress and the Senate have been trying to pass have been blocked by Obama, and with him in office for a little bit longer, what are the chances that this bill will actually be enacted?
Well, we're gaining some bipartisan support in the House, Democrat co-sponsors, and the message that these people up here have about the damage to the American dream and to the middle class that Senator Alexander talked about, I think is going to be a pretty compelling message, so we'll see how it goes.
Could I add one thing?
Please do.
Then I'll step out. I want to thank Congressman Klein and Phil Rowe for his leadership on this in the House. I think the answer to the question is we need bipartisan support. We need Democrats who understand what small business is as well. And they're bound to understand that if you'll go talk to them at home in your districts. You don't have to come to Washington. I mean, congressmen and senators are home every weekend. So you'll have more time with them there than you will here. And you can make your case to them here. And we're going to do our best to pass a law. We'll need to get 60 votes to pass it in the Senate. We'll need to get 67 to override President Obama. But if we don't have a law, we'll have an issue. And we'll have an election this next year. And we'll let Democrats and Republicans go across the country and say why they want to steal the American dream from the owner of 780,000 franchises across the country and see what the result is.
I actually knew that was the answer. He just Go ahead. Thank you, Senator.
So the decision's been out for about a month now. I'm wondering if any of the franchisees up there have actually heard from their franchisors about specific changes that they're going to make as a result of the decision.
I can't make it up.
So there's been discussion, but the crux of the opinion is it's ambiguous and it's uncertain. So we really don't know which direction to go in. And I think everyone's just kind of waiting a little bit to see what happens. But certainly the discussions are happening. And from our local level, we're discussing how do we move forward. Do we use temp agencies anymore? Do we subcontract? All those things that affect franchising every day, they're all under discussion and scrutiny.
Other questions? I think Mara put her finger on it. We came out pretty clearly in the hearing yesterday that Dr. Rowe was chairing. Uncertainty is a key part of the problem here. The NLRB is made up of 5 members. This was a split decision, 3-2, and the dissent, which were the 2 Republican members, was absolutely scathing. These owners, these business owners back here, don't know what's going to happen. They don't know what they can and what they cannot do. And that's the reason they're here, and they're united, and they're here in strength. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Does that Bresci decision control any of the small business owners here? Obviously, they're not automatically going to be held liable as going forward just yet, given that guidance document that I'm sure maybe you know about was mentioned in the hearing yesterday. How much is that, or how much are you thinking about that when you're talking about the bill today?
Back to you.
Because I guess the witnesses, at least on the Democratic side yesterday, were saying franchisees aren't
Right.
necessarily liable under the new standard.
You had everyone giving different opinions, and that is the problem. You had two attorneys, with all due respect to attorneys, I am one. They couldn't agree, the two attorneys, the three attorneys in the room. Oh, you're fine. Oh, you're not fine. Oh, this doesn't affect franchising. The bottom line is, whether it's Freshie, whether it's this particular case or one coming after, we don't know. And we need clarity and we need certainty. And that's what we're asking for today. We just want clarity. We want to know how we move forward as small business owners. And what I said yesterday is, I don't want to worry about this stuff. I don't want to practice law again. I want to bake cakes. That's what I bought into.
Yeah, well said. One more.
You mentioned earlier that this is a bipartisan bill. I was looking through it and I think I noted one Democrat who's co-sponsoring. Maybe I missed a couple more, but which other Democrats are you targeting that you think might be interested in supporting this?
Every Democrat that these owners go to today. Again, as they tell their stories and as they talk about their fears and their concerns, because this ruling, the BFI ruling, is ambiguous, and the dissent talks about that being ambiguous, and it takes away the certainty that they need to do their jobs and to run their business and to keep their employees and to grow their business and to go to 7, 8 bundt cakes and those kinds of things. It's that uncertainty. So some Democrats are already listening. I think Colin Peterson got on yesterday. Maybe I'm throwing him under the bus here. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure. So we're going to work it as well. But as they tell their stories, I think that number will grow. Okay, thanks everybody. All you people in town,
Thank you.
get out there.
Thank you for your help.
Get 'em. You must have been a hell of a dishwasher. Wow.
I worked it.
One heck of a dishwasher.
It's a great story.
Yes, it was.
Very, very nice.
That's what we're supposed to be all about.
Yeah. Free enterprise.
It still works if we don't try to get it off the rails, and that's what we're trying to get off the rails.
Your particular story is great because it's full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. I purchased 8 of the